Welcome back to Unlocking RuneScape. In this series, I have separated all of the bosses into different tiers and must fill in collection log slots to progress forward. With the easy tier completed, we have now moved up to the medium tier, which is composed of these bosses. The goal to move out of this tier is filling 31 new collection log slots, so let's go ahead and get started. In the last episode, we pushed from 68 to 75 Slayer, which unlocks Gargoyles, something I'm hoping to start poking at in this video. We also picked up a few things like the Dragon Pickaxe and the D-Chain from the Calphite Queen. I'm hoping that in this video we can maybe get one of the Wilderness Rings from Callisto, Vedian, or Venenatus, and maybe start poking at some other stuff like the Grotesque Guardians and Dagannoth King drops. Before we do anything though, I'm going to go ahead and unlock a few things with my Slayer points. I actually definitely want to make sure I have the Gargoyle Smasher thing, which is going to be pretty important, and I'm actually going to extend Gargoyles. I'm probably going to come to regret this decision later down the line, because extending a Gargoyle task when you're planning on doing the entire thing at the boss is pretty brutal, but I guess we'll see how that goes. My plan is probably just to be doing the Wildy bosses in non-peak times, and when I start getting PK'd too much, I'll switch to do some Slayer and try and pick up a Gargoyle task. Dang it, that would have been so perfect if I got it right there. I'm not going to be wasting points skipping, since at some point in this series, we're going to have to climb all the way up to 95 Slayer for Hydra, so saving points is pretty relevant. That is a black mask worth 900k. Alright, that's our first, notable drop from Slayer, really. I mean, I guess there aren't too many to get at this level, but yeah, I'll take that for sure. I do want to kill the Dagannoth Kings, but a Dagannoth King's task, not that great. I guess I'm just going to set it to 33 because that's an even multiple, and we'll just try that, I guess. With the introduction of the medium tier, we finally gained access to some pretty tough bosses. But you know another game that has tons of tough bosses? The sponsor of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends, which you can download using my links in the description. I want to introduce you guys to a pretty cool faction called the Bannerlords, one of the few completely human factions in Teleria. They're stacked with armor and weapons that resemble the feudal knights of medieval Europe, and were originally part of an alliance with several other factions to fight evil, but they've lost their way. They recently launched a battle against our old friends and their old allies, the High Elves. And rumor has it their king is under the influence of a growing shadow. These are a couple of the Bannerlord champions that I like, and personally, this one is actually my favorite, and I've used him quite a bit, as you can tell by his level. Every time I pop on this game, my go-to thing is always breaking open packs, because you never know what you're gonna get. And it's even more exciting to open packs now too, because this month, Raid is releasing 11 new champions, so I'm hoping I can get some of those. They're also releasing almost 200 brand new missions to complete, with a legendary champion as a reward if you finish them all. On top of all that, they're adding new levels to almost every single dungeon in the game. So make sure you guys use my link in the description to download Raid for free to your mobile or PC, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in the game. Thanks again to Raid for sponsoring this video. The Dagannoth Kings. These are actually the most lucrative set of bosses in this entire tier, and the reason for that is because this collection log is loaded. Now, there are 10 total items in the Dagannoth King collection log, however 3 of them are the pets, so we're obviously not going to realistically expect to get those. Everything else, however, is fair game. I'm hoping to get all 7 items from here, because none of them are too particularly rare. The only problem we might run into is that certain items only drop from a certain Dagannoth King, so if we get very lucky on some and unlucky on the others, it could cause a bit of a predicament. Well, I'm only doing a few kills, so I'm just going to take a pretty budget setup. I'm not really worried about having the SGS or anything right now. This is probably fine. I'll let myself in with my main. Oh, hey, that's actually unique. I didn't expect to get anything in the few amount of kills that we are doing here, but the Seer Call, I believe, is actually one of the things on the collection log. So that's awesome. I mean, we're probably going to get a bunch more of them, so that's going to suck when we do, but for now, we're happy about it. And that's really low KC too. That's like an Iron Man's dream right there. Oh, wow. Wow. That is a Mud Battle Staff now. Oh my god. I think that's another unique. Honestly, I really don't know what's on the table of uniques for DKs, because I know like the skeletal and stuff you can technically make, I'm pretty sure. So I'll have to check, but Seer Call and Mud Battle Staff, that's fantastic. Oh my god, and the Dragon Axe as well. This is a really, like, I mean, these are all things that I'll definitely get when I'm going to grind out the rings, but this is great, dude. That's, I think, 3 slots. Well, that wraps up the DK's task. Okay, I'm gonna get slapped a little bit at the end here because I decided not to repot, but that's okay. As long as I can actually kill this prime. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, that is the end of the task. I'm surprised at the stuff that we got, to be honest. That was actually pretty fun, even with my really scuffed gear and levels. But if we head to the Dagannoth King's collection log, we did in fact snag ourselves 3 unique items on that first trip. Again, of course, it's all the uniques that are fairly easy to get, I would argue, by comparison. I guess mostly just on the Dragon Axe, that's something that I'll get a bunch of. No rings, but hey, I'll take it. This is a great start. Well, damn, that is a great start. First Dagannoth Kings, now Gargoyles. So, first things first, I do have to kill the regular Gargoyles in order to get a, I think it's called a Brittle Key, in order to gain access to the Gargoyle boss. Hopefully, we can actually get that in a reasonable amount of time, maybe even in our first task. That'd be awesome. Oh, wait. I gotta grant them all already? Those are 150k now. Wow, alright. Oh, wait, there it is. There's the Brittle Key, substantially under the drop rate, actually. That was quite fast. Alright, very happy with that. Now let's figure out how we're actually killing these things. Alright, you know, just to prove a point. Bam, gates are open. Welcome to the Grotesque Guardians. This is probably the most infamous Slayer boss because of the sheer time it takes to get kills. And if you don't have max gear or the willingness to use things like dragon darts, which I don't have either of those on this account, well, the kills are going to take quite a while. It is home to 7 collection log slots, though I only am aiming to get 5 of them since all 7 would also include getting the pet and the jar of stone, and both of those drops are insanely rare. That being said, I do think that the Noon pet is one of the coolest boss pets in the game, so definitely wouldn't mind picking that up. It's been years since I've killed this boss that wasn't in like Trailblazer League or something, so I have no idea what gear to take. This seems good, I guess. Oh yes, I have to sit through this animation for like the first 10 kills or something. Fun. So I've realized that the defense level of Dawn is quite low, so I think I'm just going to stop using the D-Hide entirely and switch out my chest piece for a Prosy top so that my Avas still works and I get a higher prayer bonus so I can hopefully not have to bank as much. That being said, I did also get a free collection log slot since Granite Dust is a 100% drop rate. Well, because it's really early in the morning, I'm actually going to head over to Venenatis for a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to be rotating between the Wildy bosses and Slayer stuff, so Venenatis it is. I want to finish off this Treasonous Ring before I move on to Callisto and Vedian pretty seriously. Alright, that's a long bone from Venenatis. We take those. Ooh, hello. 100 grimy snapdragons. That's a great drop. There it is, the big KC 400 at Venenatis. Honestly, when there's not too many PKers, like when I get on at a good time, this boss is pretty chill, and it's pretty darn good money. I'm hoping that Callisto isn't too packed, because that's the only, one of the 3 bosses I haven't really done yet. Vedian, just not a fan. Ooh. 431 KC. There is another Dragon 2-hander. I'm almost positive these are much more rare than the Dragon Pickaxe from Venenatis, but I've still only had 1 Dragon Pickaxe, so I'm really hoping we can get some more of those, because that's a pretty huge amount of money to my fairly low bank. Hey! Treasonous Ring, there it is, 455 KC. Wow, that is so cheap. Well, 455 KC, we pulled ourselves the Treasonous Ring. That is the entire collection log done for Venenatis. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. It's honestly bittersweet. It's bittersweet. I really like Venenatis. It's been a very, very fun boss to kill. If I could figure out how the alphabet works. There it is. 6 Dragon 2-handed swords. I think one of those actually came from Calphi Queen, but that is the full Venenatis log done in 455 kills. That is amazing. So now I guess it's time to move on to Callisto and Vedian. Since we did get the pet here, though, I do have a little bit more wiggle room in the things that I can go for, and I'm not sure if I want to stick to Vedian for the Ring of the Gods because of how slow the kills are, but I guess we'll have to try out Callisto and do a little bit of comparison. The last remaining Wildy boss that we have not yet touched on is Callisto. Now, Callisto is actually a pretty interesting boss because it's fairly easy to safe spot and actually was one of my favorites for specifically the pet. That being said, the only drop that we're really going for here is the Tyrannical Ring, since we already have the Dragon Pick and Dragon Two-Hander, and of course, a pet grind isn't exactly super realistic. I'm hoping that this place isn't super heavily PK'd, because if it's not, it should be even better money than Venonattus, but I guess only time will tell with that one. So this is the gear setup that I am going to take. I'm pretty sure that using the Chain Mace is actually better than Varix, though again, just like Vedian, the main problem is that I'm not maxed melee stats, and another big flaw with this setup is that I actually do risk the Dragon Defender. I know in the comments of that video, a lot of you guys mentioned to put the Ornament Kit on, but this was recorded before those comments existed, so unfortunately, I did not think of that, though it is really smart. That being said, I'm taking the Defender despite the risk because it's just insanely powerful. Well, there is 50 kill count at the Grotesque Guardians. I mean, even though the loot here isn't super great, it gives a disgusting amount of Slayer XP. Like almost 1.5k per kill. So, it's slow, it's not great loot, but there are a lot of uniques here that I want to get. And you know what? The passive Slayer XP is always nice. The first of probably many Slayer levels I'm going to get at this boss, there is 76. So weirdly enough, the times that I was doing Venonattus are not good times to do Callisto, because every world there is packed. So for now, I'm going to try some Vedian. I'm going to try and avoid risking the Defender here, just because it's multi the entire way. It's kind of a rough place to get attacked. So we'll try some Vedian for a little bit, maybe get super lucky on the Ring of the Gods, or even luckier and get the pet. That'd be amazing. So you might not believe me, but as I run away from getting attacked here, it has been nearly 2 entire hours of me trying to get a single kill at Vedian or Callisto, of which I have had 0. 0 kills at either boss in 2 hours. I don't know how I'm going to get these rings, man. I mean, I don't mind getting attacked, it's the wilderness, but it's just, this is ridiculous. This content's like almost impossible to even do right now. 146. Wow, that is 100% a PB. That's probably not going to get beat for a long time. Much more relaxing than the likes of the Wildy bosses, though much less profitable, are the Grotesque Guardians, and we now have 100 KC here. So that's actually pretty cool. I've been enjoying this boss still. I mean, like I said, it's not exactly good money or anything, but, you know, that's not really what matters. So after the whole getting attacked 80 freaking times in 2 hours this morning by PKers at Callisto and Vedian, I'm kind of hoping that maybe I just get an extra item here that I didn't originally account for, like the pet or the jar, which is kind of asking a lot. And then I won't have to go back to those Wildy bosses. 77. I got 2 Slayer levels on this one task. That is, oh, that's disgusting. But I mean, it's great, but it's disgusting. Well, this is the last kill of my first Gargoyles task, and unfortunately, other than the Granite Dust, we didn't get any uniques here. That's not that bad, to be honest, but look at this. 209,000 XP on one Slayer task. My god. That's actually just gross. And that's not even the whole task here, because obviously they have to get the Brittle Key first. So, yeah, that's disgusting. I mean, the bright side about this task is I get a disgusting amount of Granite Dust, which is actually going to make certain Slayer tasks a lot faster, so that's pretty cool. That being said, though, we did get a good amount done this video. We got a few things from the Dagannoth Kings. We, of course, camped out a decent bit of Venonattus and finished out the Treasonous Ring. And that one Grotesque Guardian task took probably like 15 hours. So, I feel pretty happy about what we accomplished in this one. Let's take a look at the bank value. I actually only turned this plugin on for the end because I genuinely like being surprised as well. So, let's deposit everything in. And we are at 111 mil. So, we've actually netted an 11 mil gain this episode, which isn't as bad as I thought, considering the amount of times I died in the wilderness. And the amount of ether I've gone through, I'm pretty happy with that. Our loot tab is 17 mil right now, which means we might be able to make a pretty big purchase again pretty soon as well. As always, though, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And in the next one, we're going to continue working on these random-ass bosses in the medium tier. Peace out, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day.